What's up guys, Jordan here from JW Visuals, and today I'm actually going to be diving into a little kind of like making of my recent short film, Behind the Door. If you haven't seen it, link will be up here somewhere. Check it out before you watch this because I'm going to be spoiling some stuff. Problems with the GH5 is even if you sit a little up, you're out of focus. Wow, it's awesome. I miss autofocus. All right, so Behind the Door, my recent little short film, is actually nothing that I really came up by myself. I mean, kind of, but it was actually for the Collective and LaCie 60-second Behind the Door challenge. If you guys haven't seen it, link will be in the description with all of the details for that and a link to their website. Definitely check them out. I think there's still enough time. If you guys got on a production, you should be able to get something out before the deadline there. And only being 60 seconds, it shouldn't be that bad. But with this competition, there was a few like small little rules that we had to follow. And literally we kind of got a prompt for this competition and it literally just read, it's 4 a.m., there's a knock on the door, be creative. So the whole idea was the setting of this film had to take place at 4 in the morning and there had to be a knock on the door. And we can use visual effects or none at all and just really get creative on building the suspense in the scene and what's going to be revealed behind this door. So the concept for my story is pretty simple. I had my actor, which is it's pretty much just a one character short film. Since it's only 60 seconds, I don't really need more than one or two, and one's being the demon or the creature, and then one is my main character. So I had those two locked down, so now I had to find a location. You guys have heard me before talk about this. Location should be a character within itself. So I knew I couldn't just film at my house because my door and my location doesn't have enough character. I could have done some production design and some set dressing, but I really wanted the door itself to be iconic. I wanted the door itself to be a character. Since it is Behind the Door challenge, I wanted the door itself to have some unique characteristics to it, so it wasn't just a regular modern door that you'd see everywhere. I wanted the door to be unique, and I wanted to have its own unique personality within the film. Therefore, I kind of reached out to all my friends and family and saw what I could do with the locations I had access to. And it just so happens that I had a family friend leaving on vacation for 3 days and I was going to be dog sitting their two little pugs. So I decided to ask them if it's okay, if I could use their house, and I loved their door and the way it looked, and it just kind of fit perfectly for this challenge. And they totally let me film there for free within those 3 days that I had access to the location. Since I was spending the night anyways, it was pretty easy to kind of move gear in, you know, do all my pre-lighting setups and kind of do everything because I had access to the location for 3 days. All right, so what's up guys, Jordan here. So right now I'm on the set of my new short that I'm going to be showing you guys. It's for the Behind the Door challenge. So yeah, this is kind of like how it's looking right now. So right here is kind of like where the first shot is going to happen. So this, we're going to do some set design for this for sure, because the shot is more or less like in this kind of orientation, and it's going to be sliding with all of this stuff in the foreground, which will look really nice. So, but we can't have a mirror here because then you'll see the camera. So we're going to do some PD, some production design here, and get that all nice and cleaned up and looking good. This lamp over here, I really like it because of how the light hits. So you could probably see, I like how the light hits on the bottom part of it. It's not more or less of a shade, but it's almost like flagging the light off, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna take this lamp and we're gonna put this bad boy over here and get rid of this lamp because this thing just does not look good and I don't want Batman there in the shot. So we're gonna put that lamp over here. This will be a practical in-camera light lamp. Boom, there's one. There'll be one over there, two. And then we're going to have a third one, a big lamp that's going to sit right here because I need some nice light being pushed towards the door because the challenge is behind the door. So we're going to be focusing a lot over here towards the end of the film, but I want the light to look a lot more interesting than this flat overhead lighting. This just does not look good. That's kind of what it's looking like. So I'm going to get started here and you guys will see what it looks like in the final film. So I just wanted to walk you through kind of like my thought process
looking at the set and how I'm gonna do it.
So once we got the location and we knew exactly where we're filming, I kind of built the shot list and kind of built all of the story elements around that location. I always talk about writing to the resources you have, and this is the resource I had, which was this house. And we definitely were gonna shoot there, so I paced all of my shots, all of the blocking and all the motions that were gonna happen within this set environment. Now, specifically with the lighting, I like to shoot a very practical style when it comes to horror. If you guys have seen any of my films on this channel, they're all lit very motivated. And what I mean by that is like there's a lamp, a practical in the shot, and there's the light emitting from that. So even later on, when you're still in that same environment and you see the light hitting the actor's face from that side, you already know because it's a lamp there. So it's a motivated light. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll take those practicals and they might not be bright enough and I'll just enhance them. And I can put an LED panel and blast it through some diffusion and just match the color temperature. But that's really how I like to do it, just because I like my films to feel very grounded. I like them to feel realistic. And if the lighting is very super stylized, which isn't a bad thing, just for my style, I like to go very motivated and realistic. Because I think the scariest horror is when you're immersed into the movie or into the actual atmosphere of it, because it's real, it feels realistic. There isn't just a random green light blasting down the hallway, which can look cool, especially on film or on camera, but to me it's not motivated. There's no reason a green light should be blasting down unless you see it, and it's like a lamp fixture or it's some type of neon light, then it would make sense. And it also helped that within the concept of my story, I had him on a computer. So we literally just opened up like a white screen and blasted light, and that was kind of his key light when he's sitting down there on the couch. So everything was motivated, everything felt realistic, and that's how I like to shoot my horror. And if you guys haven't seen Nightfall, which was my last film, go check that out, because that whole thing was shot and lit practically. There was really no lighting setups that we had to do, other than we made some modifications to stuff on set, and I just enhanced my natural practical lights. Now, I'm not saying this is the best way to do horror, this is just the way I like to do it.
I'm not hearing nothing.
It went away.
What audio are you trying to get?
I was trying to get the rustling.
So with cinematography, I was very limited on what I could do in this space because I literally shot the entire film on one lens. One single lens on my GH5, and that lens was a 25mm 1.7, which is a really good lens for this camera, but with that 2x crop factor, it's technically a 50mm. So I shot the entire film on a 50mm lens, which is not horrible because that's a good focal length to shoot a lot of things on. But I couldn't really get a lot of the wide shots I really wanted, so I kind of had to work my shot list and my pacing around that and kind of figure out what would be the best way to cover this scene with this lens. So since I had the 50mm at the 1.7, I was going to get a very nice like shallow depth of field, so I focused a lot on detail shots. And like for one of the shots, you see the door being knocked on it, but it's a very violent bang, and you see kind of the chain and the lock mechanism on there just kind of boom, boom, boom. I really wanted to accentuate that moment, so I shot it very tight, and I even used some camera movement on a slider and just kind of pushed in slowly on it, just to accentuate on what's happening in that sequence. So the thing that really like bogged me down on this film was the scare and like the pacing. This is something I have been working on as a filmmaker ever since I've been filming short films, and it's just nailing the pacing. I really wanted this film to feel like it flows. So being a 60-second film, you don't have a lot of time to tell your story. You don't have time for a setup. You don't have time for really anything. And since most of the grading criteria is based off suspense, I really wanted something to be wrong from like the first 10 seconds in the film and just everything else leading up to the moment, the reveal. And kind of avoiding expectations and everybody thinking it's gonna be behind the door, it kind of was behind him. And the whole reason for this is I'm not really a jump scare type of horror fan. Now I think they have its place and it can be used effectively, but with this 60-second film, I felt like the subtlety is what was going to be scary, like just the door opening by itself and unlocking itself, and then the creature just being behind him already. Not a jump scare, but just this subtle creepiness. And I kind of got this idea, and I'm sure most of you guys have experienced this, I know I have, but have you ever experienced when you got home late and you look down your hallway and your house has been empty for hours, and you think like, you look down that hallway, that dark hallway, and you're like, there could be something down there. And that moment you think that, you have like this feeling something's behind you, and you look behind you and there's nothing. Well, what if there was something at that time? So that's kind of the whole emotion that I played off for this film, and my concept kind of stemmed from that. But I wanted the scare to feel that way too. I didn't want it to feel like, boo, pop out at you. I really wanted the scare to be like this unsettling, lingering feeling after you've watched it, kind of slow build. And I wanted to do that in the cinematography as well, because I didn't want everything to just be cut to this, cut to that, cut to this, because it's 60 seconds. I didn't want to like jam pack a lot of shots in there. I kind of wanted the film to breathe, and I think allowing this scene to breathe like that for the buildup made that scare a little better, just because you're not jarring the audience so much. I kind of let the scenes play out, and I really wanted that to flow in this film. I didn't want to shoot something just because it's a detail. I wanted the next shot to build upon the next. So kind of just breaking it down, like the first shot we see is just of the moon. So we establish it's, late at night. The next shot is establishing him there on the couch. And then the next shot is the door being knocked on. So then the next shot is his reaction to that and him getting up. So each shot's kind of building upon the next and progressing the story. There's no wasted time. There's no shot that's unnecessary. Everything adds to the next, and it's all building up to this reveal. So by the time this door opens behind him and opens by itself, you're thinking, oh, this is it. This is it. It's gonna be behind the door. And there's this little sliver of like darkness on the other side of the door, and I'm just hoping people are gonna be like, oh my God, no, it's right here. And then all of a sudden it's behind you, and it's playing on that fear and playing on that emotion that I told you about, something always being behind you. You always have that feeling of like the hair standing up on the back of your neck, and you get this feeling of something's always behind you, even though you're looking at something scary. Like Aaron, the character in the film, was looking at the door opening by itself, and he's freaked out, and then before he can even react or do anything, it's already behind him and it's right there, and it's so close. So I really wanted that to kind of play into that whole emotion of the scare and just not be so jump scary, and just really have it kind of just feel that unsettling feeling inside you. Oh, I almost forgot. So with the monster, it was actually the mask, or the face was actually just a mask I bought from a Halloween store. And if you guys don't jump on it, like Halloween time, October or September, October time is prime time to get like props for your horror films. Just go to the Halloween store, get cheap makeup. I remember for when it comes, we went November 1st, the day after Halloween. Everything was like 50% off, 75% off. We bought a bunch of props, like wrenches and weapons. I even got some weapons right here. Like, you just go to the Halloween store and just buy this stuff like 50% off, and you can use it like for whatever film you want. But the face for our demon was literally just a mask, and I actually have it right here. Let me get it. It was really easy. So this was our demon, was this mask right here. This is it, and the mouth kind of moves, so that's how we got that kind of like visual effect in there. So this is it, this is literally it. We just bought a mask from the Halloween store, and then I had my girlfriend just do makeup on my actor's hand and put like some prosthetic animal nails that we bought at the Halloween store. That was it. Yeah, almost forgot about that. So that's how we did the demon, and it's really all practically done, which is the way I would do it, if possible. I love VFX, but if I can do everything practically, I would. And with this one being such a short film, and I wanted it being a subtle type of scare, I didn't want to go crazy with the visual effects, so I just did everything practically. It took longer, it's more of a process, there's more things that can go wrong, but this is the way I love to shoot my horror films, and I think it turned out really well. And the monster, it looks lifelike because we have this movement. Usually I would VFX that, but I didn't have to because this mask came with it, so that was cool. But that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed my little breakdown, kind of like making of just more discussion, I guess. It's just, I always forget to shoot behind the scenes. That's my problem, is I'm so into the film and what I'm doing that I just have to hire somebody to do behind the scenes from now on, because I can't shoot it myself. I just always forget. I get so caught up in the moment of the shot we're trying to pull off that I don't think, oh, I should just be filming behind the scenes right now, or having someone film behind the scenes. So I apologize if there's not as much like BTS content for this making of, but yeah, definitely next time I'm gonna have someone do it so I can have something here. But yeah, that was kind of like my breakdown for the film, and check out the contest in the description. There's been some great submissions, so hopefully we'll see where we rank there. But if you like this type of content, hit that like button, subscribe if you're into horror filmmaking, because that's all this channel is about. And my name is Jordan. See you guys in the next video.